What's going on, y'all? It's your man Mike Titan, the gaming savant, here with my co-host again, Mr. Bryan Greer, back at y'all with another episode of the Blitz. And today, we are talking about the NBA playoffs. In fact, more exactly, Dallas Mavericks versus Houston Rockets. The matchup that everybody in Dallas wanted to happen is happening, and we're going to give you our preview on it. We're going to go over matchups, who we think is going to win, why we think they're going to win, what's going to happen. Pretty much any and everything that can be talked about this matchup, we're going to go over in this video. How are you doing today, Bryan?
Oh, I'm doing good. I think I'm doing better than Monte Ellis, who seemed to be in his feelings at the end of the season, pouting after a very big win against the Denver Nuggets last week. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I got to catch a little bit of it.
Yeah, I was hoping you give him a hug or something because I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, well, he must have definitely needed it or something. I mean, what was it, 144 to 143 in double overtime?
Yeah, it was exciting. I don't know if, he sipped some codeine or something before the game or whatever, because he was over there just looking like, he lost his dog. But, I want to go ahead and get into this series because, like I said, as us being Mavericks fans, this definitely was the best matchup possible, I think, going into the end of the season. I think that most people thought that the San Antonio Spurs were going to be the matchup, which I think would have been very sad and very quickly painful ending. Just kind of different from last year. But, Mavericks end of the season. Up and down, just not really looking the way they thought they would when they traded for Rajon Rondo in December at the halfway mark of the season. They just injuries. Monte Ellis did get a little nicked up. You had Chandler Parsons had the injury at the end of the season with his knee. And right now, I think that this matchup with the Rockets is the best for them because the Rockets are also dealing with injuries. Patrick Beverley is now out for the year. Monty Eunice, their power forward, who averaged, I think, 12.6 rebounds this year, is out. So as far as this is going to be like a very high-scoring affair, very up and down. Now, for the Mavericks, on their end, as us being Mavericks fans, for them to win this series, I think that the matchup they have to dominate is the point guard position. Rajon Rondo, playoff Rondo, as we know, he has to turn that on. He has to dominate Pablo Prigioni and Jason Terry. That is a matchup that they cannot lose. If Rondo does come out and has a very dominant, series with for the Mavericks, then they have a shot in this series. What do you think about that matchup, Mike?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that on paper, Rondo is the best point guard in this series. So I feel like he should dominate their point guards. Jason Terry, who is really just a shooting guard in a point guard's body, he should have no problems beating him on offense. He should really have no problem staying with him on defense unless they do back screens for Terry's and stuff like that. We have to run through one or two defenders. As far as Pablo Prigioni, he's the same way. He's pretty much just, as far as I know, he's just a setup three-point shooter. He plays no defense whatsoever, and he's not really much of a facilitator on offense. He's pretty much just a spot-up shooter point guard. So I feel like Rondo should at least be able to have his way with those two guards. Granted, they may switch sometimes. I don't know, they may put Harden on Rondo just because if he's doing too much damage. But I do feel like the point guard is probably one of the lone, if not the only matchup that the Mavericks should win. But like I said, that's why they play the games.
Yeah, exactly. That they have to dominate that matchup in order to have a chance in this series, I believe. And also on that is that Rondo will be playing a lot on James Harden, I believe, which is a matchup, but they have to contain Harden. They cannot have him just going off and getting everybody else involved. And, the matchup of another great matchup will be Tyson Chandler, who has played exceptional this year, against Dwight Howard. Whoever gets the best of that matchup, again, will have the edge in this series. But Tyson Chandler has really just been an anchor defensively for the Mavericks. Averaged 11 rebounds this year, double-double, I believe, around 10 points. Dwight Howard in and out of the lineup once again this year with back issues and, is on limited minutes. So that should be, close to a tie for the Mavericks, because anytime you get Dwight Howard on the floor, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And I think that they will hack Howard if the game is close, because we know what Dwight Howard, when it goes to the free throw line, that's a 50-50 proposition, even less than 50-50 probably. So that's going to be another matchup to look at. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like that a diminished role for Dwight Howard in this series would greatly benefit the Mavs. If he, from what I'm hearing, they're only going to play him about 20, maybe 25 minutes per game. So that's almost half a game that you don't have him on the floor, where they have either Terrence Jones, I believe his name is Tyreek Black, an undersized center out there against Amari Stoudemire, Tyson Chandler, our bigs that we have. Yeah, so I feel like if we can get enough of an advantage to take a lead while Dwight Howard's not on the floor, for what little time he is on the floor, and he does do damage, because I mean, as injury prone as he is, he's still Dwight Howard. He's gonna, get his rebounding, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, getting fouled, stuff like that. So if we can just diminish his damage that he's gonna do to us down low in the post while he's on the court, while he's off the court, then I feel like that's a good way that we can stay in this game and stay in this series. I also do think, like you said, the hack of Howard will be a pivotal role if the games get close down near the end. That could also be a point to where Mikal would take Howard off the court so they can avoid that, which will also help out a lot. So how whenever they get down to close in games, they have those little substitutions where like, oh, well, let me sub Dirk out because we're about to go on defense. Let me sub Howard back in because we're about to go on defense. If we, do that continuously and he keeps missing his free throws, that could kind of, edge Mikal to be like, all right, well, let me take Howard out and put somebody in who can actually make free throws.
Yeah, the end of the games, this is where I think the Mavericks have a big advantages in Rick Carlisle's adjustments versus Kevin McHale. Mm-hmm. And I think Rick Carlisle's one of the best when it comes to this. And that also will mess up the rhythm of the Rockets, who we know are big on pick and roll and pick and pops.
Yes.
And the thing with the Mavericks is that Chandler Parsons has to contribute in this series. They cannot have him out there, injured or not. He has to suck it up and go out there. They need him to be a big contributor in the series, because if he is, that gives them another advantage, because they don't have anybody to stop Chandler Parsons, because we know in one game he went off against the Rockets. Yep. And with, them not having Patrick Beverly and Monty Eunice, that depth is going to come into effect for the Rockets. And the longer the series goes, I think that is a factor for the Mavericks and a plus for them, because they can just wear down the Rockets. So another matchup that has to is Monte Ellis has to start turning it back on, because if he's attacking the rim, who on the Rockets is going to stop them? Please don't say James Harden. He's trying on defense this year. That doesn't mean he's good at it.
He ain't trying that.
So no, exactly. He's trying to save his legs so he can shoot bad threes. So with that being said, I think that Monte Ellis has to get his mood right and get his head right, and really be a big factor in this. As we know, Dirk, he's going to put up his points. But I have no, fear of that. I think he's going to put up points, but he cannot carry the load like he used to. Mm-hmm. He's in his 16th year. How many years do you expect Dirk to just continue to go out there and do this? So they have to be smart and use their depth in this series. Like I said, Amari Stoudemire, Amina, they have to get bench points from him. Villanueva. At the end of the year, he really started coming on. Raymond Felton, now that Devin Harris is hurt, he has to come on. J.J. Barea, yep. That's another player. They have to use their depth. They have the point guard depth of this series. They have to attack the basket. If they get Dwight Howard in trouble, you change the series dramatically. Because behind Dwight Howard, the Rockets are a different team. And that is something that you have to look at. And Josh Smith, that's another player that the Mavericks have to get in foul trouble, because you want him in foul trouble, you want him shooting threes by the popcorn guy in the stands. Yeah. You want him doing all types of things that are just illogical. So they have to frustrate the Rockets, because we know that, like last year in the playoffs, James Harden was not, very good from the shooting, just horrible. So if he gets off to a bad start, you want to keep him there, and he'll just keep jacking up shots and not getting the ball to nobody to prove a point. So, what do you think is going to be the key matchup in this series, Mike?
I would kind of coincide with what you said about Chandler Parsons being, the man for the Mavericks on offense. I feel like he has all the tools, which he was actually showing a very good small portion of it towards the end of the season before he got injured. He was driving to the basket at will. He was making jump shots. He was passing the ball. He was driving and kicking and getting people involved. And that's what we need Chandler Parsons to do. We need him to be
kicking the ball, passing, being a part of the offense. I agree.
Exactly. His part in the offense will be being able to break down his man, get by him, and drive the defense in to pass out to a shooter or to get fouled going to the basket. That's his game. To me, he's a slasher. He's a slasher who can sometimes, shoot the ball. Now, granted, he probably has one of the more uglier jump shots that I've seen in the past in the NBA.
Yeah, the Juwan Howard jump shot. I don't know if you've seen Juwan Howard shoot lately, but
I haven't, and I wouldn't want to if it's anything like his. It's pretty much like a set shot almost. But
yeah, it's very flat.
Very flat, but somehow he still makes his shots when he's open, so I give him kudos to that. But I would say that Chandler Parsons has to be, the man for the Mavericks on offense whenever Monte's having an off night, or to the fact
we know that's coming.
Yeah, because we know that's coming, or to the fact to where it can open up things for Monte, where it could be like, oh man, Chandler Parsons just scored 3 straight baskets on us. We got to commit 2 guys for him. You give Monte wide open shots to get him going. You give the ball to Dirk down low in the post. I really don't see anybody containing Dirk if he can get back to his playoff form like he was the past couple of years. Maybe only person I can think of is maybe Dwight, but once Dirk goes anywhere past the free throw line, I don't think Dwight's going to be trying to follow him that far. Fear of being too far away from the basket or fouling him, because you know how Dirk is with his jump shot. But I think that matchup with Chandler Parsons and Trevor Ariza, will Parsons be able to get the best of Ariza or whoever's guarding him and be able to create his own shot to provide openings for the other players in the Mavs offense?
Yes, I agree with you about that. If Ariza gets it going from three-point land, or is able to shut down Parsons, that's a big advantage for the Rockets. Mm-hmm. I think down low is going to be the key matchup. Because of the Mavericks' lack of rebound. Does Tyson Chandler versus Dwight Howard? Who gets the foul trouble? Who's able to stay on the floor the most of the time? Is that if Tyson Chandler can contain Dwight Howard to keep him on the bench, that's a huge advantage. Because can Tyson Chandler score like he was at the end of the season? Because he was averaging 10 to 15 points at the end of the season. If he can, nullify Dwight Howard, and the Mavericks can get it going from outside, that changes the series dramatically. And I think that's something they have to do, because I don't see any way that the Mavericks don't dominate the point guard position. They have way too many skilled point guards, along with Rondo, J.J. Barea, and Raymond Felton, with Devin Harris being hurt, because I don't know if he's going to be able to be fully healthy out there. They should be able to win that. So they have to do that, and they have to keep Josh Smith off the boards and keep him from scoring. If Josh Smith starts scoring and starts doing things that make sense, they're doomed. Yeah. Because it happens once every blue moon. You got to keep Josh Smith out there saying, I think I'm Kyle Korver. That's what you want Josh Smith doing. You want him out there like he's Steph Curry, shooting threes, just trying to win a 3-point shooting title. So I think that's something that the Mavericks have to do. And with that being said, I just want to go ahead and hear who do you have winning this series.
I've thought long and hard about this. I feel like both teams have faults. I feel like both teams have advantages over the other one. Clearly with James Harden and Dwight Howard for the Rockets over the Mavericks. Clearly with Rondo and maybe Parsons over for the Mavs over the Rockets. I think the Mavericks will win this in 7. Just for the factor of being that I think Rondo is going to show signs of his old self in Boston. I think he'll be able to orchestrate the offense, get people in place, and play good enough defense on James Harden so where he doesn't go off for like 40 or 50 or 30 every game, and keep him, not bottled up, but keep him in a certain scoring range area. And I think that'll be enough to get them past the Rockets to make it on to the second round.
I wish I was with you, Mike. I really wish I was with you. But the Mavericks, They just cannot rebound the ball. I've tried. I've tried to teach them. I've sent signals. I've tried to, tweet Mark Cuban, Rick Carlisle, whatever I can do to try to help. But
have faith, man.
Okay. Well, the faith in mine ain't lying though. So I've got the Rockets win in 6. I have to. I got 4 eyes. So these 4 eyes are telling me that since the Mavericks aren't be able to rebound, that they, that they can't rebound. I think it's gonna be a short series. But I think the Mavericks can, get 2 games in this series. But when you can't play defense and you can't consistently keep the ball out of the opponent's hands, what can you do? And I think, James Harden's going to get to the line relentlessly. Once he gets past the first defender, he gets that free throw line, and I think that's what he's going to be able to do. And Monte Ellis, I don't know what I'm going to get from him. He has to be the key guy. Dirk can not longer be the main scorer. And Monte Ellis, we know what playoff Rondo's like. I think Rondo's going to be fine, but Monte Ellis, if he starts going out there, like say 5 for 20, just jacking up shots, all kind of stuff. And Chandler Parsons, I see too many ill-advised shots. Call him the white, Antoine Walker, because he just goes out there and starts, jacking up 3-pointers. You're like, you're just driving to the basket, and all of a sudden he's throwing up a 30-footer, and it's just clanking off the rim. So hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully our Mavericks do, pull out a playoff series, which would be the first one since they did win the title in 2011. But, I'm glad you've got faith, because my faith is very waning right now.
Well, one of us has to.
Yeah. One of us has to be crazy. So, one of us, with that being said, want to hear your comments, in the comment section. Maybe you're like Mike. Maybe, you do have faith without, seeing it. Maybe you're there. But maybe, like me, you've watched the games and seen that they've not been able to rebound, and you don't want to agree with me. So, we definitely want to hear from y'all out there and see what you think about the Mavericks' chances in the playoffs.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. We want to thank y'all for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It's your man, Mike Titan, my co-host, Mr. Bryan Greer. And we're out of here. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.